Alright guys, back again for another review. Big Tom.
Mr. Two Fingers.
The reason we call him Mr. Two Fingers is because we've got a lovely fan on the page called Chris Hutchinson, and he does like Damien.
It's...
Mr. Two Fingers.
And if you notice again there, Tom said fan. Not supporter, not subscriber, he said fan. Social media whore. Yes, no, I have a fan. I think he's related to you somehow.
He's Emmy's uncle.
Emmy's uncle, and
he has a thing for Damien.
He has a thing for my two fingers. So, what's his name again?
Chris Hutchinson.
Chris. That's for you, mate. Anyway, today we are going to be reviewing this little bad boy. This is the 4.9, a Pinoy mod modular. It takes an 18350, 18500 and an 18650, but it's a right dinky little bastard.
We found, because we have had the vaping cow, the vaping donkey, now we've got the vaping monkey.
Yeah, this is the vaping monkey. Yeah, I got this from Schmo Vapes. They basically released another batch, I think it was Friday or Thursday, and I managed to get one. Really nice. And Stu even picked me out my serial number, which is 777, which is the number of God. That's right, Mr. Two Fingers has the number of God. Which is really cool. Yeah, it's a fantastic little mod. Basically, it's got a magnetic switch, and it doesn't have a post in the top cap. Pretty much like the red rod, it is just basically your atomizer connects directly to your battery. It does have an insulator in this top cap. The first lot that came out didn't have an insulator, but they have now put insulators in the top cap. It's a really, as you can see there, it's on the Zenith V2, and just look at the size of that. It's absolutely tiny. It really is a small, dinky little mod. It's beastie. I like it, I do.
Yeah, it still fucking bangs with that Zenith on it as well. Still gives some cloud out with that. It's nice. There is a few downfalls in my opinion. I don't like the button.
Yeah, the button is an acquired taste. Basically, the button shoots down the tube like this. It doesn't actually screw in. It actually just hangs in there by itself, and it's captured by the inside of the tube. There is a magnetic spacer, and then your battery goes on it. The button can be a little bit of a fiddly bastard to get in there. You have to sort of drop it through the top of the tube, and sometimes it can get a bit wedged and a bit but using different batteries, basically, the bigger the sort of battery, the shorter your throw is going to be. You can as well put battery spacers in there as well to shorten your throw, and you can get just a tiny little clip like that. But it's, like I said, because it sort of hangs free in there, it can be a bit of a bugger. But when you do get it how you want it, depending on if you use your spacers or whatever battery you're using in there, like maybe an AWIMR or something like that, it's a really short throw, and it is really nice. The tubes are lovely and thick. I think they're about 2mm thick. It's made from 304 stainless steel. It's a 22mm modular, and it's got those great threads again, like you saw on the Vigo. Even in 18650, I think it's about 79mm in 18650. It's 49mm in 18350, hence the 4.9. But there's also something, isn't there a monkey that's called the 4.9 or something like that?
I'm not sure.
I read somewhere on Google. I could be talking absolute bollocks, but who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's tiny. It's just a fraction bigger than the red rod, I believe. But still, look at that in 18350. It's as stealthy as you fucking like. The button does have grooves cut out of the main tube to put your finger in there to give it that sort of. But it is a bit. It's a bit of an hard push as well. So. Pinky switch is a bit, maybe I'm just weak and I have broken both my hands in my life, so I use my fuck off finger to do it with. But yeah, it's a cracking mod. This is £90 from Schmo Vapes, and for a mod like this, that's not too much of a bad price really for your high-end sort of modular device. Like I said, it takes all 3 battery configurations. You can user kicking it, but still, once again, you're going to have to vary your batteries or your battery spacers to make this work. What we'll do now is we'll go down at the table. I'll show you it in all its bits and pieces. I'll show you it in each configuration and how small this thing is, and then we will come back and give you our final thoughts. And once again, I'll show you them two fingers. Safe. So here you have your 4.9 mod from Tarsius Customs, broken down into all its major parts. You have your button, your top cap, magnetic spacer for your switch, your 18500 tube, your 18650, and your main body there for 18350. To put this into 18350 mode, get your battery first of all, find your magnetic spacer or your battery spacer there, and connect to your battery. Now obviously what you're going to want to do is have it so that these oppose each other, because otherwise your switch will just not work. So make sure your magnets oppose each other, like so. Put in your switch into your main tube. Now for me, I hold it upside down and I guide the switch down with my finger, like so, until it falls out of the bottom. It can be a bit fiddly. And then it should be at the bottom, like so. Take your battery. Now, some batteries are of different sizes, so you might need a battery spacer in there to get a shorter throw. I just use one and put it onto the actual magnetic spacer, like so. Put my AWIMR 350 on the top of it, and then slide it down, and you should get that sort of motion, like so. Put on my top cap. And there it is in 18350 mode. Get my atomizer. Now if you have one with an adjustable 510 pin, you can lower or raise the action to get a shorter throw if you want, but be careful not to have it too low because it will fire by itself, obviously, if it makes contact. There you have it in 18350 mode with a zenith there, tiny. Now with the rest of the tubes, you basically do the same. Take your 18500. I don't have an 18500 battery with me, but there it is in 18500 mode. As you can see, the threads there are fantastic. You can hardly see the join at all. And in 18650, do the same again, but with your 18650 tube. I do have a eFest IMR here. Put my spacer on. And there we have it in 18650 mode. And the button is a very small push there with that spacer in. It's just a very light touch. And there you have the 4.9 by Tarsius Customs.
Alright guys, after looking at the vaping donkey, vaping monkey, vaping cow.
You've got to stop it with all these fucking animals. You really have. Everything's a fucking vaping donkey to this son of a bitch, isn't it? You're the fucking vaping donkey.
No, it's bang on. This one is really nice. The only problem is with the button. That's just my personal opinion. I've heard a few people say they don't like it and whatnot, but for 90 bits, you know, it's high end. It's nice.
Yeah. I do understand that with the button. It can be a bit fiddly. You know, there's a lot to it with the spacers and the magnetic spacer as well. It can be a bit of a fiddly bastard, so you know that just depends on what you like. But when you get it right, when you get the throw how you want it, it is fantastic. You can basically make it just a slight touch, you know, just a very minimal touch with the right configurations in it. Nice and chunky tube, lovely threads in all three, in the other two configurations. Like I said, 90 quid for a mod of this type is great. It does have that top cap which just connects the atomizer to the battery, so be mindful of your leaky bastard atomizers, you know what I mean? If you can't get a fucking atomizer to stop leaking, don't use it. I wouldn't recommend getting this if you're new to vaping and things like that. You know, there is a lot going on with this. It really is sort of for your more experienced vapers, really, and those who can get an atomizer, not the fucking leak. You know, but yeah, it's cracking for the money. I really do like it. It's a good looking, I'd hate to say hard hitting, but it is a hard hitting device. Really suits the Zenith V2 there as well. Absolutely dinky. And yeah, for 90 bits, you can't fucking do wrong with it. It's great. Serialised, like I said, I got 777. You get 49 written next to it, and a little monkey on the button as well. You'll be able to get these when they come back in stock at Schmo Vapes. The link is above my head right now. And also, if you're a member of UKV, follow the threads on there about the 4.9, and you'll be able to know when they come into stock. The company that makes this is Tarsius Customs.
Yep.
Is that right? Tarsius, I think that's the right
Customs.
name. Yeah. So yeah, they've made a cracking little mod here. Scores.
Button does lay it down for me personally. I'm saying around about 8.
What for?
For
looks,
yeah, for it looks, it's bang on. Yeah, for looking at it, it's bang on.
I think it's stunning to look at. Personally, I love the groove tube. I love that idea of that sort of that finger movement in there. It does look different. It is tiny as well. And like I said, now I'm getting more and more into my smaller little dinky stealth mods. You know, we may need them one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, this is really nice. The threading is fantastic. Like the Vigo, you can hardly see the joins. It is really small in 18650 as well, so you're going to get that long battery life, but yet not have a great big fucking stupid mod clankering about in your pocket. It doesn't have any locking capabilities, of course, because the button just sits freely in the tube. So, but it is quite a hard push with the magnets, so you're going to be hard pressed to have it firing off in your pocket. And it does sit flush. It does sit flush with your tube as well, so you can stand it up on its own and it won't fire. Yeah, I'm going to give it, for me, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for looks. It is bang on. It looks fantastic. For vape, it's 10 out of 10. It's what it does. It's a mechanical mod. But for design, the button is a bit of an issue. It can be a bugger to get the button in the right way as you're dropping it down the tube. Todd suggested putting it in a little bit inside first and then turning it upside down to get your button in there. It still sometimes gets a bit mowy and gets trapped inside, and you have to sort of poke it out, which is then going to scratch your button and scratch the inside of your tube, so be mindful of that. So I'm going to give it sort of a 7 for design because of that button. It is a shame, but I don't see how else, if you want this sort of design, how else they could have done it. You couldn't screw it in. Probably the only way would have been to remove that groove there and screw that bit in itself, but there you go. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It definitely is. And a bit of exclusive as well. They are bringing out the female monkey version, so you can have the pair. So you can have the male monkey and the female monkey, so you do have the pair together. No change in price, but we don't know when they're going to be released, but that's going to be a nice little set to have them both. Yeah.
So there you go. There's the 4.9. It's a this lovely little vaping monkey sort of thing here. Yeah, I like it. I really do. I'm quite happy to have this in my collection. Not sure whether it's a keeper yet. We will see. But yeah, I mean, just for how small it is, it's a great mod to own. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this review, and we will see you on the next one. Stay the fuck safe.
2 fingers.